Good evening. It is an honor to speak to this body on what Connecticut, Newtown, and America believe is such an important matter. As we reflect on 12-14-12 and determine our next courses of action, we must define the problem to solve the problem. It is my sincere belief that the problem is a violence problem and should be analyzed as such. To say we must harden and strengthen our school security measures because our schools are soft targets for mass murderers is not resolving what affects America, Connecticut, and Newtown. Certainly, we must strengthen security in schools, but it is not the antibiotic for curing what ails us. It is but the Band-Aid on a wound. We must strengthen our security in schools because of the realization that we cannot prevent these tragedies from occurring in our society. We must do better. We must be better at finding the right solutions for the many problems that persist in society. I am confident this committee is dedicated and committed to finding the appropriate answers and responses to ensure 12-14-12 never happens again. However, it is my firm belief that if enough is not done, we will see this scene repeated in our communities. I implore you not to be misguided by the many who will claim, rightfully or wrongfully, that we cannot and should not diminish or reduce rights afforded under law. We have become a society tied to entitlements. Our laws and policies afford us immense degree of satisfactions with privileges and freedoms many other societies do not have. However, when these freedoms are the cause of enormous pain for Americans that we have felt over the past several years with the many mass murders we have experienced, then it is time to sacrifice, and I repeat, sacrifice, portions of these entitlements to change the culture of society. If violence in society is the real problem, and I believe it is, then what are the root causes and how do we fix them? All too often, society's answer to conflict and uncertainty is to be violent. It could be learned behavior from the many negative influences our culture provides, from military-style weapons, neighborhood disputes gone bad, various violent-related shows and games, and families unable to cope and understand the complexity of raising healthy families, to name a few. These factors breed a culture for violence. We must address some of these issues if we are to be successful. Our sacrifices should include the following: release all restraints attached to mental health providers and medical providers when providing law enforcement professionals with critical information necessary for police to intervene as early as possible when weapons and mental health issues are present. Doctors should not have to worry about breaking law or their duty-bound ethics code when it comes to saving lives. And patients should not be stigmatized or branded just because the police have intervened in a matter brought to the attention of police by their providers. We must sacrifice funds and resources typically used for other societal needs to make our mental health providers the best in the world at diagnosing and treating those in need at the earliest possible age without, again, branding and stigmatizing the patients. We must also make it easier to receive mental health treatment without the worries of copays and deductibles. We need to have a more comprehensive package of anti-violence strategies that are taught at the youngest ages, like we do with anti-bullying initiatives adopted nationwide. With so many negative influences being brought to bear on our children, we desperately need to counteract these messages and strengthen appropriate family values. We need to do as much as possible to reduce the easy access to weapons of mass murder. I, like the President, believe All levels of government must strengthen the prohibition of military assault weapons that many of our citizens enjoy legally and without harm to our society. This sacrifice is necessary and certainly warranted. We need to limit large-capacity ammunition clips. They may serve a purpose on gun ranges, but have no rational, common-sense meaning when protecting ourselves. And finally, we must make available funds and resources to improve the security in our schools and our community. We must admit that changing our culture will take time, and schools or other soft targets will be prime targets. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you the best on your journey for changes. Thank you.
Written copies of this testimony?